In the last video, I made the statement that I was complete with the carpenter's bench. And many of you guys said, no, you're not complete. No carpenter's bench is complete unless you have a properly forged hold down. And I agree. So let's set about that today. Yeah, I know there's a lot of stuff going on here today, but there's a reason why. So here's the problem at hand. I can't forge a hold down unless I have a forge that's working. And Mrs. Wranglerstar took back her hair blower and my shop vac quit working. So it's time to finish this up. So the next thing we need to do before we install it is to build a wooden handle. Now I was going to, and I'm glad that I put this out there because I think this is a better way. I was going to drill out the back of this handle and make a new handle, wooden handle, and then put this back in here and weld it in. And some of you recommended, why don't you build a handle and see if you can't make it out of a billet of wood that is really straight grained and split it. Complete the handle, have it all done, split it perfectly, clamshell the two sides over, glue them and clamp them together. And I thought, you know what? I think that's a great idea. Let's try it. So I have gathered several billets of wood here in varying different ages of wood, different species, and we're going to see if we can't find something that will split really cleanly before we go to all the trouble of making the handle. Before we cover the billets, I wanted to show you the piece of steel that I'm going to use to make the holdfast. And this was an old tool that belonged to my grandfather. This is one of the things that came to me with all the old tools that he had collected since the Second World War. And this is actually, I don't know what it is. It's made in the USA by N&P Tool Company, and it's got a knurled end on it. You can see right there, and a hole in it, and it's got a pry bar. Little kind of a pry end on there. This must have been something, I don't know if it was a specialty tool, service tool. Sometimes there are special tools that need to be made for different car manufacturers where the way they were engineered, you can't get to something, and I wonder if it might have been something like that. It's not something that I think that I would ever use. I have enough experience working on cars knowing that if I do cut this up and turn this into a holdfast that I am not going to kick myself later. But this is what I'm going to use. It's 3/4 of an inch in diameter. It'll be really good tool steel. And the rules of a holdfast, your steel, the diameter of your steel needs to be 1/8 of an inch smaller than your hole. So the holes on the bench are 7/8 and this is 3/4. So this is just perfect for that. So we'll set this aside and this will be what we use on the forge. But let me share with you the billets that we have and see if we can't pick something out that's going to split clean and make a nice pretty handle. Our first up here, we have a variety of billets here. These are something that I milled from a red fir, Doug fir, on our off-grid homestead 5 years ago. And they're very dry. The grain on them is not really straight. I was just looking through. Some of them are better than others. They vary in range from 1 inch to 2 inch. And I don't know if that will be the best way to go, but we'll try it. We'll do a little sample of all of them. Here is a piece of Tennessee hickory, kind of a leftover from a handle that I built. And this is very straight grained. I've never tried to split hickory, so I don't know how it splits. So that's another one that we could consider that we'll try. Here I have a piece of 5/4, 6/4 pine. You can see pretty nice straight grains, ponderosa, really a beautiful piece of wood. This may be a really good option as well. Something else I might try is I salvaged an old handle. This is off of a very old Forest Service FSS shovel. I restored the shovel and made a new handle for it, and I saved this because oftentimes these old woods come from old trees of tight knot stuff that you can't get anymore. So that might be something that's really cool. And then finally, I have a couple pieces that came off a sister piece to that old growth block that I logged on the chainsaw mill a couple days ago. And you can see this is a nice piece. Tight knot, a lot of straight grain in it. It's got definitely a crack there. But this is an 1.5 inch billet, and I've got an also of the same piece, a 2-inch billet. Again, a lot of imperfection, a lot of cracks and such, but you can see very nice straight grain on that. And then, of course, here's a small 1 inch from the same. So let's cut some sample blocks, because what we'll need to do, the handle will be actually quite small. So we'll want to be sure to mark these, and as we test them, if we cut our sample block here and it splits really nice, we'll want to make sure that we use the piece adjoining it so we have some consistency, because we don't want to go to all the trouble of turning that beautiful handle on the lathe just to have it not split properly. So let me cut some blocks out of these billets and we'll see what splits the best. So let's start out with this old growth billet. This piece of wood is probably well over 100 years old. It's very straight grained, and we may be done there. So let's cut a 3-inch block out of it here. So this is interesting. I just realized it when I cut it. This has been laminated. Those two have been glued together. Look at the way the grains run different ways. That's odd. There's still enough in there for the handle though. Let's see how it splits. So let's just kind of imagine that we have a round handle in here. And so we'll split it kind of with the grain. So let's try splitting it right across like this here. Winner, winner, chicken dinner here. I think we don't have to look any further. That split really nice. That's pretty wood, isn't it? It's got a nice red look in it. That's classic Pacific Northwest right there. That is the good stuff. Okay, so if we put this together, now we're just trying to imagine here that this is our round handle, and we would have split with the grain like that. That split nice and clean, right? So then we could clamp that real tight around there and have a handle. I don't know why not. Let's do it. Let's cut a piece out of that billet and take it over to the lathe, turn it, and see what happens. So we'll pull the handle off here. So I was going to ask you guys, are you enjoying the longer content in the videos? Because, you know, the numbers, when I look at the numbers, the analytics, man, the channel is just really, people seem to really be liking the longer videos. I checked it this morning. It's hard to believe, but the channel is receiving 3.5 million video views every 28 days. That's incredible. That equates to almost 20 million minutes watched every month. Just unbelievable. It is winter and I have a lot of projects like this to do. I've got some really fun stuff. If you like the longer videos, let me know in the comments, because you know the thing about this is we're kind of this is uncharted territory. Running YouTube channels and this being a form of entertainment for people is a new thing, and it's just never been done before. So it's hard to know what's right and what's wrong, and there's no right answer. Every channel is different and the content's different. But what I enjoy the most from making videos is just bringing you along with what I'm doing and just having the conversation and letting it run, you know, letting them go. I just don't know, is an 15, 18, 20 minute video too long? Because the numbers aren't showing that they are. You know, but let me know in the comments what you think about that, and maybe we can find the sweet spot. Maybe there is no answer, just one answer. Okay, so you can see right here, this is 3 inches. 3 inches on the handle that will need to go on there just like this. And so but before we do that, you see this is kind of crooked. You can see how that's got a bend in it? I know the perfect little removable vise that might just come in handy to straighten this out, huh? So those of you guys that asked why you need a vise in a vise, why you need a machinist vise in a carpenter's vise, perfect example. You don't want to work with your metal and stuff in your wood vise. Your wood vise has wood jaws. Machinist vise has metal jaws, so it's much more suited for something like this. So this is pretty lightweight. I think I can just straighten it by hand here. So first we need to straighten it this way. Here, tell me when that's straight. Is that good? Yeah. And then it's got to go down a bit. I think that's pretty good though. A little bit more. Yeah, that's good. Looks like it's a little out of kilter this way too, so we want that to be straight with the handle. Yeah, that looks better. Handles, well, I'm just kind of eyeball that square's not doing me any good at all there. The eye doesn't lie is better anyway. And we can also straighten that once the handle's on there, but I think that right there looks really good. Yeah, you could see there that we're nice and straight. Okay, let's go cut our wood.